Well, good afternoon and welcome. I'm super pumped to be here with you, and I hope you're excited to be here. We are looking forward to this opportunity to be able to interview Jabel and Kristina Miller. My name is Carlos Campos. If you don't know who I am one of the founders and partners here at Peculiar Sanctuary, where we love to help people have epic soulmates. Whether you're single or you're married, you can be an epic soulmate and you can become an epic soulmate, and then you can create that epic soulmate in your spouse and come together as one flesh. And it's just super powerful. And we often talk about singles because that's kind of our target market, because they don't have bad habits. They're doing good on their own, and we help them to do good together with others, finding a spouse and beginning to do the process of coming together as one flesh and creating that epic marriage. Fast track to epic marriage is what we have done for a lot of people. But we also do work with couples occasionally, but only couples that are willing to put in the work, only couples that are willing to go after it and take action, only couples that eliminate excuses and follow directions. And so it is rare when you find a couple that is willing to work and do the work and take action. And so today we're here to talk and hear about Jabel and Kristina's Miller story, the Miller Sanctuary, and how it got created and what all they've done to get there. And so without further ado, let's invite them on here now. All right. Hello, Jabel and Kristina. Welcome.
Hey guys.
And
Hello.
It is awesome
Appreciate
to
you
be
having
here
us.
with you. Yes, it is awesome, and appreciate you guys, all the work you've put in, and the focus that you have, the action that you take. And so that's where we'll start. Like, first of all, I want to thank you seriously for being here, and thank you for all you've done. You represent so well. It is rare to find a couple that's willing to do the work, who's willing to learn new skills, and who's willing to follow directions and not think, well, we got to figure it out. And so it's exciting to see your results and see everything that's happening in your lives and continuing to happen. So let's start. Like we were just talking about their anniversary date, if you would. How long ago did they start working with us, working with our team? If you don't know, Peculiar Sanctuary, we have a course, an online course called Connection DNA. And it is an 8-week, 40-session course. And it's a legacy course. It's something that you keep doing and repeating and going back. You do it 8 weeks, and it's a daily routine every weekday. So there's 5 sessions a week, Monday through Friday. We recommend the mornings. We recommend doing sanctuary practices. And then, you go through it for 8 weeks. You do all 40 sessions, and then you take a week off, and then you repeat. And what's amazing is Jabel and Kristina have done that, and they follow directions. Now, how many times, you're in what number are you guys in it now? How many times have you been through it? You're on what number?
What are you in?
I think it's round 6. I could be wrong, but I think it's round 6.
She's done it one more time than I have.
Okay, so it's safe to say that you guys have been through it at least 5 times together.
Oh yeah.
I would say
that's amazing.
What is
guys? 5 times they've gone through this in 11 months. We were just talking about this, like 11, 12 months. So they're just about on their 1-year anniversary. And so it's super exciting because, when you got started, let's start with that. Well, why did you get started with Connection DNA? It's kind of a funny process because I know that Jesse and Adina Kaufman, some of our incredible partners, and now dear friends of yours, and you are become our dear friends, by the way. You and sorry about that. You and Kristina, you and Jabel are both amazing, and we've become close to you guys. We definitely consider you like family now through this process, and that's what we do. We connect. And so give us some background. Tell them all about kind of why you got started, the process of getting started.
So I'll let you start because that was kind of your thing.
So probably Jesse messaged us, well, he actually messaged me about a year ago, and he was just talking to me about connection DNA a little bit, and just prior to that, we had actually watched some of Peculiar Sanctuary videos on YouTube, and we were just really impressed with the content. I mean, it really stood out to us. I think the thing of knowing your MVP, knowing what our mission is, that part really stood out to us, and we started kind of digging deeper into that. But we didn't really look into connection DNA specifically until, I don't know, a couple months later when Jesse messaged me personally. And there was initially I was excited. I felt like it was something that I could connect to, and it was something that I felt would be extremely valuable. I was always passionate about growing myself, becoming better, learning. However, I had never had that type of accountability and mentorship before, and so I wanted that, but I just didn't have it. And so when Jesse put that out there, asking, hey, do you want to be a part of this? I was really excited. So that was how it was for me. Jabel was not that excited in the beginning, but I think that just, it was, I remember that I prayed about it, and I was like, God, if this is something you want us to do, then just open the doors for us. And that's what happened. And so I'm just extremely grateful.
Yes, it worked out, and you got started. So, Jabel, when you got started, you're like, oh man, not another program.
Right. Yeah, so, well, you were feeling like really, like you were really hungry for something to grow and develop, and there was a time in your life when you were feeling kind of dry and alone, and our marriage was maybe in the best place at the time, or we felt there was more. She was really hungry, super hungry for that, more than I was. So initially, I was kind of had some barriers I had to work through, and like I've been involved in other programs and other events and life coaches and stuff like that, and I was not, that super excited about it because, anyways, I thought at that time it was a good chunk of money to put in, but anyways, we were able to work through that. Jesse worked me through that, and I just knew that we had to do this, and so we got started, and right away, one of the first things I had to work through, we kind of both did, but me more so, is we had to just work through some mindsets of, I guess, how do I say, just some mindsets of, that this is just another program that somebody's trying to get something out of us, and we're, it's probably going to fade away in a little while, and just some really hard things I had to mentally work through because there's a lot of insecurities and a lot of barriers there. So anyways, that's kind of how we got started, and the process is just really freeing because we had a lot of, as you go through the content, we just dove in and started doing it, like all of the videos and the action items and everything, and it's very intense when you do it the first time. You've not really been exposed to any of that. It's, you think, who are these people? What do they have to offer me? And, this is dumb. I don't need to do this. Whatever. You have all the thoughts. But there's a process behind it, and there's a reason you're thinking that. It's because there's some thinking patterns that maybe need to level up in your life. So that's definitely what happened with me for the first couple of months. And anyways, so that's kind of how it got started.
I'm glad you said that, Jabel, because that's perfect, man. Like we I often have people like tell me like, this is weird. It's not, I'm not used to doing this kind of stuff. And I say, good, because if you were, then this wouldn't work. Like if it was the same thing you've always done, what results would you get? Like there wouldn't be. And so it's so funny because I get the opportunity to talk to a lot of people about this, and they're like, I've never done anything like this. This is weird. And I'm always like, good. I'm so glad you're saying that, because if you weren't, I'd be concerned that this is just another one of those programs that you're going to do for a minute and then you're going to flash in the pan and then you're out. Like, and I don't want that. And that's what we always tell people. Look, if you're not here for the long haul, if you're not here to change your life and change your lifestyle and your habits and your cycles and your routines, then it's probably not for you, because that's what we want to do, is shake it all up and change some things, but not consume you, because that's a lot of other things that it takes like 8 hours, 6 hours. No, we try to keep them short bites. We've actually refined it quite a bit now to where our goal is, can do it in 30 minutes or less. And you guys have been awesome. Like Kristina was telling me, you guys have been working on that too, because we have a new process where it increases the speed. Because no longer do people have an hour for power. The hour of power is long gone. Now it's like, I need to do a half hour, man. I ain't got time for an hour. And so we're like, all right, let's do this. And so again, it is about creating new habits, new lifestyle. And so you guys got started. You thought it was crazy at first. You're like, but you did the action items. I think that's what's super important for people listening. Like, they actually did it though. Because we have some people that put their toe in and do a little bit, maybe just press play. You guys are like, look, first of all, I love the fact that it costs you. And then you're like, man, that's a lot. When you first started, you thought it was a lot. And you're like, man, now though, let's look at this, because you've got these results 8 times in your savings, epic marriage, and deepest desires coming to pass now. And so it's crazy because it works, right? You put in the time. Where was it for you, Jabel, that it started to change? You're like, wait, there's something different about this. Tell me, do you remember that point? Or let's talk about that a little bit for both of you, where it kind of started. You're like, this is not the same thing.
Right. I think the main thing that did for it, I kind of approached to, or main thing I guess it did for me was it made me be honest with myself maybe, and realize that I'm making a bigger deal about this in my head than it needs to be. Because like for the cost of the program or whatnot, initially I was like, oh man, this is like this amount of money. Well, a couple days or a week into it, if I was honest with myself and willing to put the fear aside, and like, because there was a fear there of change, because it wasn't actually about the cost of it. It was about, if I say yes to this, what is it going to cost me in my, maybe some things that I'm hanging on to that are not good for me. And if I was actually honest with myself there, I realized, this is actually the cost was not a thing for me. It was because I know that, if you invest in yourself, there's funds that you pay out for that, and it's just the way it is. So for me, it was like this thin veil. It looked very imposing at the beginning, and then if I almost didn't pay attention to it, I just kept moving forward. It kind of disappeared more or less. And so I would say where the biggest change, like after probably the first, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 weeks into it, it was beginning to like really kind of empower me, or like give me mental strength, I should say, in a way. Like as far as just in the little things of anything from getting up in time to do your things to just making decisions, during the day about, okay, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to eliminate this. So I would say there was still a lot of stuff to work through, but I started seeing a lot of good things happen fairly quickly. I don't know if did that answer your question?
Yeah, that's good. I mean, it obviously increased your confidence, your communication, your connection. We call it the 3C methodology through the process. And I love how you said it was like this veil that you just was gone. Like you don't even remember. And that's what makes it so powerful for us is that we create something that you just do. And in the process, there's so much happening that you don't even realize it. You're just following directions. And so Kristina, like what made you guys keep doing this? Like you're in your sixth time, right? And but you've done it together as a couple 5 times. Like tell me why do you keep doing it? What is it that you're seeing or what's happening?
Well, I think that right when we first started, it looked a little bit overwhelming because it was a lot of information. I remember Jesse just sending messages of information, just like, whoo, boy, where do we start? And so I remember we were talking about it, we're going to start with what we can. And that first week we did sanctuary practices. We focused on creating a routine with our sanctuary practices, which is our time with Papa, where we release and then we, receive a word back from him, a scripture, and then our gratitudes and worthies. And that first week, I noticed the difference immediately in our connection already after that first week. And so I was like, man, this is good. Like, we got to keep doing this. And so, the second week when we started with the content, we just started listening to the videos. We did the action items, and it was different. Like Jabel said, it was different from anything we'd heard before. And so, but I think that just, for me, I was like, I had known Jesse before, and I was like, he's been doing this for a long time. Something happened. He's had results. Something's right about this. So, we got to keep going. We just got to keep going. And so I think that for me was like the thing of like, let's just keep doing it. It doesn't matter if it makes sense to us or not. We just got to keep doing it. And in time, we really did notice that our mindsets were shifting. Like just how the name implies, our connection, our DNA was shifting. Our mindsets were our old mindsets were being replaced by, new cycles, better cycles, healthy cycles. And so it was a powerful process just in that first round. And so every single time we've done it, it just kept going to a different level, and we kept learning new things every single time. And so that's why I want to keep going, is because every time you learn something new, and every time you go to a new level. So the only person putting a lid on it would be yourself. So I want to keep growing and keep doing it, because I know I'm going to keep learning new things every time.
That's so good. So good. And so let's get into the results now. Man, time flies. You're having fun. And seeing that we've already been here for 18 minutes, I'm like, dang, so good. But I want to get into the results. That's what people are like, what the heck? 8 times your savings. Like, how is that possible from connection? So Jabel, and this is what I'm telling you, people, like I'm telling those listening, I'm telling you, like, it is crazy. It's the cycles. You're creating new cycles. It's the repetition over and over and over, and it's just happening. Like, it's hard for people to imagine. But Jabel, can you actually make a link to you guys have 8 times what you've ever had in your savings, and knowing the results? Like, is it the business? Is it your leveling up at work? Is it, can you connect it? Like, how is it? Because it is hard to connect and actually put a finger on, like, well, it's because of this.
Right. Yeah, I guess when you think about it, and I hear the 8 times the savings, it's like, is it really that? Like, but if I think about it, it actually is. So, I think, yeah, for us, we didn't do anything that different than what we were doing. We have a couple side hustles that we do that, bring in a little bit of money, sell farm eggs and she has a cleaning job for our Airbnb that she gets kind of paid for there. So there wasn't anything over extravagant that we did outside of what I do normally for a living. And yeah, I just felt that just when you can establish connection, that foundation of connection and blessing with each other, you're not dividing your finances. You're pouring all your resources in to the same place. And like even she was wanting to work a couple days a week sometimes, not so much anymore, but earlier this year, just to see it, have that money go in towards our goal of what we were trying to reach for. And so there's things that when you're on the same page and when you're connected and you're working towards the same victory marker, then abundance flows. Like there's a blessing there that will just come out. So I'm kind of shocked myself that we actually have more than 8 times now.
So you've just like had your head down. You both have been hustling. We talk about that if a couple will truly, whatever area they truly decide to yoke in and become one flesh and yoking, it's obvious you guys have an epic marriage. It's amazing. You guys are thriving there in your connection. I'm sure people are saying things like you guys are different, and then you've also you've yoked in on your finances. So now we say 3 times the results than what you do on your own. Like that's real. That's the word. That's the power of yoking. But you guys got 8 times the results, and we're not talking hundreds. I mean, somebody would say, yeah, you had $100 in your savings. Oh, you have 800. No, it's thousands of dollars, people. And so it's cool to hear the results, right? Because you're working, you're hustling, and it's not just this, and you're doing it in synchronicity. So I want people to understand, like, if you were doing the same thing you were a year ago and you hadn't started Connection DNA, you hadn't started doing the process, hadn't started growing and learning in the way that you are now through the process, would it be the same? Would you have 8 times the result?
I do want to say this. I feel it's really important because I feel like the more I established and made connection between us, the most important. And our dream of establishing a home, a sanctuary at our home, not working ungodly hours to try to like get a job done or this or that. The more I held myself back and was like, okay, this is gonna be the cutoff time, and I just create that space. I believe the more the increase came is because it wasn't because I worked 19 hours a day or 16 hours a day. It was and it might seem kind of crazy, but so like that's what I feel was actually a huge part of it also, because in the end I feel more rejuvenated, I feel healthier. I'm not, and we can have a healthy connection. And so, yeah, that's what I've kind of discovered too, is it's not so much about just getting, working late into the evening. I mean, sometimes maybe there's 1 or 2 times you might have to do that to kind of really, go to somewhere or do something. But as a whole, generally, like the abundance came when I took care of the little things and tried to establish a consistent workflow.
I love it. It's so powerful. Did you have something to add to that, Kristina? That's so good.
Well, I just wanted to say that yes and amen. Like when he leveled up in leadership, things literally shifted in our marriage, in our home. And I mean, it was a complete turnaround. And what's awesome about it is that we had always known there was something there that wasn't quite right, but to have the tools and skills to actually turn that around has been, has brought the transformation. So
good. And we don't fix people. That's what I always say. We don't fix people. We enhance what's already there, and the gifts and the blessings and the strengths that are there. Like through this process, they get enhanced. And I've seen that in both of you. Like you guys are just flourishing, and it's like abundance is attracted to flourishing people. And I love it. It's fun to watch you guys. You guys are so much fun. It's awesome to work together, to have you as alliances in life and in these relationships and connecting with people and our community. You guys are phenomenal. So let's get to you have an epic marriage. I think we've established that. Like, the connection between you two is really awesome. Jabel's leveled up, but I know your intimacy and connection in that way has been phenomenal too. Like, super cool to hear how connected you are now, and physically, mentally, emotionally, relationally, all levels. But now you've had some deep desires to have a family, to start, creating little ones. And it's not that you have prevented that, but it hasn't happened yet. And so you chose to, because there is such a need for children to be adopted, right? And so it was cool at the beginning of the year working with Jabel and creating a plan, the big three for this year, and setting some victory markers or some goals and dreams and desires. And man, here we are. It's not even the end of the year yet, and you guys, man, when I saw all the things you were accomplishing, and that was a big part of it, was just seeing that dream coming to pass. Like, this could be a 3 to 5 year plan, and here you are in less than a year, seeing it come to pass and seeing the fulfillment of that dream and desire of adopting a child. So tell me about that. Tell us about that. I'm super blessed to be here talking about it, because it just blows my mind that it's already here. And we just talked about this. I know you've been talking about it probably quite a few years or whatever. However, I just got involved in January with Jabel, and I'm like, all right, if this is the big three, let's do this, and we mapped out the year, and to see you guys are doing it, like, I'm like, man, I love it. So tell me about that. Tell us about that a little bit.
Right. So, yeah, it's crazy. We haven't been talking about it for years and years. In fact, we just began talking about it just before we started with Connection DNA, maybe a month or so, or 6 weeks before we started with Connection DNA. And that was one of the reasons why, it's kind of an excuse of, hey, we're going to be looking at adopting, so I can't really sign up for this program right now. But so it's been actually fairly fresh. So we actually, God just put it both on our hearts, both at the same time. Maybe I was thinking about it a little bit longer than she was. We just didn't talk until, September or August of last year. And we just began moving forward. It was, looking back now, Connection DNA was a catapult into completing this, because, we needed to go to the next level in our connection, in our marriage, in our life as well. And I felt it was like a catapult into going into this. So, January was kind of when we started doing the paperwork and whatnot. We had a consultant that we hired to help us with that, and just lots of unknowns. We had no clue how to start and whatnot. So it's been a process, throughout the spring and the summer, and just getting, just learning and growing and doing Connection DNA at the same time. It was like a double dose of, all the stuff, and it was good. There was, when you grow, I guess if you grow that fast, it, a lot of times things get pulled and stretched almost to the breaking point, but it's a good thing. And so we're just, at the same time, we were learning the tools, learning the skills to work through any hard things that came up. And so, we got our home study completed in July.
Wow.
And August was applying to different agencies. And September was kind of cleaning it, wrapping up some little things. And so now we're just kind of more in the waiting process of beginning to see cases from those agencies to have possible matches for us. So, that's kind of a quick rundown of kind of our story. And the more when we talked about it last summer about pursuing adoption, it was the more we talked about it, the more intense it became. Like we really wanted to do this, and when we actually started, it was just like this is 100%, no question what we need to do. So
I love it.
Just got stronger as we went forward.
But I want people to understand, like, what's crazy about your decision to do this. First of all, to think that you've been working on this, working less hours at work, taking a day of rest, celebrating Shabbat. Some people are like, what is all that? And 8 times in your savings and fulfilling a dream. I have to tell you, people don't understand what it takes to do an adoption. I don't think anybody does unless they go through the process. I happen to be able to witness some of the things you guys had to do, from interviews to creating the whole, giving them all the information of your history. It's like climbing a mountain, like a huge mountain. And I remember you guys talking about it, and you're like, how the heck are we going to do all this? There's so much. And Kristina would be like, yeah, there's a lot to this. We got to get this information, and you guys are going through study guide, information stuff. And I'm like, all to adopt? It's like they work you hard. So it just blows my mind, because I want to think about this for a minute. So you're not only working less, resting, not doing the hours you would think it would take to get 8 times your savings. You're also working on an adoption, also running your farm and ranch and homesteading. I mean, and everything's increasing while you're doing less. It's awesome. And to think too that you actually made time, because you prioritized to where you've got it. Like you're there to where you can do this adoption now. You're qualified, so to speak, because they had to get all the background stuff done. They had to be interviewed. They had to fill all the documentation. And we're not talking a little bit, a lot. They had to go through all the studies and learning about how to do it. I remember you guys talking to me about it. I'm like, oh my goodness, I can't believe you're really doing all this. This is amazing. That's the heart of the Millers, to see how much you guys love and are willing to go through this whole process to adopt a child and give a blessed child a home. And it's such a beautiful thing what you're doing. And so we want to be a part of it as a community. And we have an opportunity. So I'm going to share a link with everyone here that's watching, and with those that may be watching in the future, the next 24 hours. And you guys can share this video. I hope this link shows up everywhere. This is a link that you can click on to be able to donate. Now you'd say, well, they just made 8 times this year. Why don't they pay? It's not as cheap as you think, number one. Number two, we want to be a part of it. They didn't ask for this. I asked them for it, because as a community, we want to give. They give so much and love and bless, and we want to give back. And I know it's not easy for them, too, to be like, hey, you want to be a part of this? Because they're doing it, and it will happen. Believe me, they work hard, they make things happen, and God always provides. However, I want to be a part of it personally. I want to see others be a part of it and give you an opportunity to give to the Millers and be a part of this process, because it is a beautiful thing for them to adopt, and it's not cheap. They have this fundraiser, and their goal is $15,000. So that's the reality of costs to be able to adopt. I think it's so fascinating. If you're going to foster children, right, temporary house them, they pay you. When you want to house them forever and make them your own children, you pay them. Like, what is wrong with our system? I don't know. We don't need to get into that. But the point is, it's not cheap, Estimated cost, what, 20, 30,000, like 15, 20, 30? Like, what do you think in total to get this whole process? Walking through it.
You're kind of cutting out there.
Sorry.
Were you saying that. Okay? Yeah. So you're saying like an overall,
right?
Overall cost 100%. So,
sure.
Most of the agencies that were recommended to us to charge a flat fee of $49,000, and there's possible expenses on top of that if the birth mother does not have Medicaid or insurance to cover her medical bills. So could be, some additional costs on top of it, depending on the case. So it's it's crazy. You talk to them, as COVID is the thing that pushed everything up, but it's not so much that necessarily. It's just a lot of legal fees are involved in coaching and training and all that type of stuff. So that's kind of on the top end of what some adoption places are not even looking at cases unless you have most of your or all of your flat fee ready and able to go, because it could happen real fast, and you got to be within 2 weeks or within a week. You got to
come up with the cash.
You got to go down and be with it. So that's that's where that's at. But from the beginning, we were we just never were stressed about the money or the funds, because we felt God's leading in everything. So
yes. And it's been proven time after time after time, which is awesome. And I'm super grateful that you're willing to let us be a part of it. And so
we definitely appreciate it so much.
It's good. It's so good. So now I'm like going, you're only asking for 15,000? I'm like, man, when it can be up to 50,000, 49,000, and then expenses, of course, that's just their fees. That's crazy. Yeah. Then the fees to travel or go see the child, or all the different things that can be involved. It's amazing. Amazing, true dedication and true heart of blessing and giving. So yeah, I put the link in there. Those of you that are watching, I would just say, look, if you want to be a part of this, click on that link and donate. Anything helps, and know that you're being a part of blessing a child who is going to be adopted by this awesome couple, the Millers. And they're amazing. They actually have a booklet that was created, kind of their profile, if you would, of who they are. And it is amazing, the things you've done and the things you still do to prepare and continue to prepare. You've created a sanctuary in your home. It's ready for a child to be blessed in. And so we also have a private donor that is willing to match funds up to $500. Now, what do I mean by that? They are going to donate $500. And this link that I posted, that's how we track it. It's a link that goes to their Give, Send, Go information. You can click on it and see all the information there. But I wanted to challenge people for the next 24 hours, whatever money comes in, this private donor will donate up to $500, but it's got to be matched. So what we want to raise for the Millers off of this time of getting to know them and communicating, we've got the Connection Tribe, we've got Connection DNA. We want to get involved as a community and as a family and as with this private donor. So anyone that will give $50, then the donor gives $50. You give $100, the donor gives $100. You give $20, the private donor gives $20, all the way up to $500. So we have an opportunity to double anything that you donate, those of you watching. And so we can have the opportunity as a family, as a community, to give them $1,000 to show our love, our support for what they're doing, and to be a part of it. And look, some of you in our community have funds that could do more than that. Then do it. Go for it. We think that's awesome. Be a part of this blessing with them, and know that it's going to an incredible couple that are good stewards of their funds, good stewards of making this possible. And you'll know that a child will be blessed through it directly. You'll be able to see it. The Millers, you'll get to see the child when they receive the child. And so all this process is exciting to be a part of. So I'm grateful. Thank you, Jabel and Kristina, for allowing our community to be a part of this, and allowing our community to be able to donate and be a part of this process of your dreams coming true. And it's awesome. It's really, really awesome to think that you're in this and doing it within the year. of getting started here with us. And I'm glad we could be a catalyst for your dreams, catalyst for your transformation.
That's very amazing. We're so thankful for that. And yeah, really appreciate everything. And if it's one thing, one of my biggest takeaways from the past year or so since we've been doing the content is that it's not about perfection, and it's not about doing it perfect or perfectly right. Because you can screw up, you can feel like a failure, but it's like, you never focus on that, because that's only going to pull you back. It's going to keep you from pursuing your dream, but rather use that as the fuel to your fire. So, and that's how I felt that has brought the most results, is to just keep going and not keep muddling around in that pit of discouragement or whatever you might be feeling. But it's not a perfect journey, but it's an ever growing journey, I guess. So anyways, thank you guys so much. You guys are amazing.
Yes, we love being a part of this. And again, for the next 24 hours, we'll track it and see how much we can bless you guys, and be able to, when you can post this video out there, anyone that wants to share this, like and share this video, please do that. And let's get the word out. We got 24 hours to match this donation from this private donor. And we're super grateful. Kristina, did you have anything else you wanted to say to close out?
I just want to say thank you so much. Like, seriously, thank you from the bottom of our hearts. Like, we are so grateful. And I know that we wouldn't have come this far without you guys. So super grateful.
Well, you're definitely family. And Chantel sends her love as well. We love and support what you guys are doing. And we hope to be on this journey for a lifetime. Eternal alliances is real to us. And we know there is an afterlife. We know that Papa God is blessing us along this journey together. And we get to see our kids grow up together. So it's going to be fun. We're excited for that. So let's do this. Let's stay the course together and see this transformation. Awesome.
Yes.
Well, bless you guys. Thanks for being here, Jabel and Kristina. Appreciate you so much.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it very much.
Bless you. All right. Well, I just want to close out now again and reiterate what I said. The Millers are a phenomenal couple, and we love what they represent. We love what they're doing. We love the fact that they want to give a child a home. There is such a need for adoption out there. Blows my mind that it could cost $50,000 to just in fees and documentation and all the things that it takes to get this done. But we want to support that. So again, 24 hours from now, let's see how much we can do to bless them. You've got the link there. Join me in this process, would you? And can you repost this video, hear their story, and see how their lives are changing and transforming, but also how they are making a difference in lives now. And this child is going to be blessed. And we'd love to be a part of that process, so that when this happens, we know that as a community, we supported them. So if you're part of Connection DNA community, or if you're part of Connection Tribe, if you're part of Peculiar Sanctuary in any way, or if you're just some random person watching this, please be a part of this. It will bless you. You can never outgive God, and He's so faithful and so good. And this couple is really doing some great things to bless others. So we hope this finds you well. I know this went a little bit long, way longer than I wanted it to, but I just got into their story, and it's amazing. And we want to be a part of giving. So we have that donor match again. If this is your first time coming to our YouTube channel, like and share our videos, but also hit that notification bell. So when we go live or when we share new content, you'll get notified. And let's get the word out about this donation. You can see it there, Give, Send, Go in the in the comments here. I'll post and also post about the donor that for 24 hours, they will match the giving up to $500. So do it. Give little, give big. It's all going to bless them. So hope this finds you well. Have a great day. God bless you. We'll see you again soon.